We're not going to get into sponsorship shout outs today before the episode because I think we were super hammered and drunkenly inserted them right into the end of the podcast. So without further ado, we are going to get right into it.
Sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have a liftoff.
Yes. Once again, we have liftoff. I want to thank you for listening to another episode of the Big Truth Podcast. And I am here with my boy Warren you might know him from Pitchfork, which is a clothing company and record label based out of New York City. You might know him, he's been on the road for years with bands such as Slayer as like a stage manager. He was in 25 to Life and other hardcore bands and metal bands and whatnot. There's a multitude of things you can know this dude from, but please help me out and welcome in my brother Warren here. We're in where are we? We're fucking Rochester. We're in Rochester, New York. Fucking broadcasting live. It's about 1:30 a.m. We had a long day of
hanging out, celebrating.
Yeah, paying homage to one of our fallen brothers and. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little fucking drunk right now. I know you don't drink, dude. So no, you know what I mean.
I'm pretty lifted, so
yeah, but it's good. We need you to be more on point than I need to be on point for this shit. But yeah, man, it's we've been talking about doing this one for a while. It's good that we got to catch up, and I know for a while it was hard because you've been on the road for so long and whatnot. So it's hard to get you in one spot, and
yeah.
You've been off that for a little bit, but dude, I mean, you've been involved in this shit for a long time in a lot of different ways. Maybe just start at the beginning. Like, how did you even get into this world to begin with, like into the hardcore and
I guess I started going to shows in the early 90s.
Yeah.
92, 93-ish. Like, I came out of the Bond Street era, kind of like the forgotten era of hardcore. It was probably like 93, 94. There was like 6 to 8 months where the CB's was closed. There was no really shows in New York except for Bond Street Cafe. And that's kind of where I came out of that scene. There was bands like Eminon, Without a Cause, Close Call, shit like that, right? So Standoff, Shift. Right, so I used to go to shows there, and then I kind of got that's where I met people and just started hanging out and going to shows. So
yeah, man. What made you even start going to shows and whatnot? Like how'd you even get introduced to shit?
All right, so I was more into the metal stuff back then, like more into death metal, and I was at an Obituary show, and Agnostic Front opened up, and I saw that, and I was just like, yo, what the fuck is this? Like, it would like, yo, Roger just like, it kept, I just got out of prison, fucking, all this crazy shit. Looking up there was like, holy shit, what is this about?
Yeah.
And I kind of just, discovered hardcore that way.
Yep.
And then I got turned on to like bands like Biohazard and then obviously like Madball, right? And then, just started going to shows, and that's how I got turned on to all that. So.
Oh, fuck yeah, man.
Yeah.
And I remember that. That's like, they had just done like those United Blood 7 inches and whatnot to try the represses to kind of get Roger out, and then Roger got out, and they played Boston. That's the infamous show for us in Boston when they played at a club called Man Ray, which was kind of like the alternative, and it was also like a fetish club. And so like AF plays this show, right, dude? And I know I might have brought this up before, and if not, then I'm bringing it up here for the first time. But AF plays this show at this club that's kind of like a fetish and weird club, and they got all these TV screens. And this is at the days where like TVs weren't so big, so they were like these 15-inch screens. But
sure.
If there's like a pile of them, like they had like 2 rows of like 6 or 10 of them.
Sure.
And then they played one thing that spanned across all of those. So
that was back then. That was a video screen, wall.
Yeah.
Right?
It was a video wall.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. But they played this video wall of a chick having sex like with a snake. And knowing, this is pre, like internet, like, you know what I mean? So no one had ever seen that shit before. Like, I know I never had. So it was like fucking weird. So everyone's just staring at that, and AF's playing, and Roger got pissed. Roger,
hell yeah.
Yeah, of course. So he's like, yo, what the fuck? Shut that shit down, whatever. And so I always bring that up and antagonize Roger with that. Be like, remember the video, the time you guys played, and there was a chick having sex with a snake, but it's a very bizarre thing. No one was there to see that. Everyone was just there, but they were just playing the normal shit I guess they normally played at that club on that video wall or whatever, and so they had to take that out of rotation for the rest of the show because everyone was like, what the fuck is that?
Lack of clubs back then to play, So.
Yeah. So definitely, like you said though, that the early '90s was kind of a weird time. So you were kind of more in the death metal shit, and then you got exposed to Agnostic Front and started kind of investigating from there.
Oh yeah, and then I used to see pictures of like Harley and John Joseph as well, like Cro-Mag stuff in magazines, and then you see pictures of Vinny and Roger, and you're just like, yo, what the fuck? These dudes tattooed to the gill, like, what the fuck is this about? Like, and then you look into it more, and then growing up in New York, shows were so accessible. You know what I mean? Instead of going $25 to a metal show and standing in a huge crowd behind a barricade, you could fucking pay $5-10, go to a fucking show at CB's and just hang out with all kinds of fucking people. You know what I mean? So and like I remember at Bond Street too. Like this is when AF had broken up at that point, and dude, like you'd see Roger and Vinny at fucking shows. Like, well, Vinny was playing Madball, but like you'd go to Bond Street and see fucking Roger hanging out at a show. And it was like, dude, you couldn't. You know what I mean? You wouldn't go to a fucking show and see goddamn fucking James Hetfield hanging out, or whatever, right? So it was just more, accessible, right? So you just felt more connected to that scene, you know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. And that's like too, like Agnostic Front was like at a, like at kind of like not a height, but like there was a peak.
That was their biggest record at that point.
Yeah, there was a
Voice.
peak. Yeah, there was a peak Absolutely. There, and and dude still just fucking hung the fuck out.
Oh yeah, I mean, that was like, dude, that was, you go to a fucking show and you see your fucking goddamn hero at the show. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy,
No, it was cool. And in respect to those guys, they blaze trails in so many ways and whatnot. And I've had Gallo and Craig on here, and sooner or later when I can do it in person, I'll have Vinny or Roger on here, or both of them.
Yeah.
But,
Vinny, I want to tell you that story too. Stigma, I had a friend that played guitar in Warzone, right? And at one point they had him playing bass, and he didn't have bass gear. I was a bass player, right? So I would kind of let him use my gear and kind of show up at Warzone shows to help out, like kind of roadie,
Yep.
And that's how I met Rabies back then. And I want to, give fucking rest in peace, Rabies. He really fucking treated me like, you know what I mean? Like family, right? I was just some new kid, you know what I mean? And through Rabies, I had met Vinny Stigma. Yeah. And he put in a lot of good word for me when I first started coming around to go to shows. So that was a big fucking help, right? So.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I mean, I don't, I know no one wishes to speak ill of the dead, but I don't know when he was alive or after he passed. I don't know anyone to this day that had like a ill word to say about fucking Rabies. He's a fucking good dude, man. Fucking.
And he was definitely he took on the role of like mentor for like the scene. You know what I mean? He would fucking, he wasn't closed minded, right? He would fucking see new kids, a new wave of fucking hardcore kids come in, and he'd fucking welcome them in, and let kind of like give them some ground rules, you know what I mean? Like, hey man, this is how we get down,
Yeah.
in this scene, and fucking, you just be cool, and you'll be treated with respect. Right?
Yeah, so, man, you show the scene the proper respect, you get the proper respect.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
So.
No, fuck yeah, man. He was a good dude. I only hung out with him a couple of times through the years. We were in Mass, you know what I mean? So, Warzone didn't play Massachusetts a lot, but when they did, he was always around. He'd hang out and fucking just kind of kick it with you and whatnot. And that was one of the things, man, that, in those early days when like hardcore and metal coexisted and started merging a little bit, and there was more crossover going on. That was one of the main differences, is that the hardcore dudes, like you said, were around. Like, you know what I mean? There wasn't like I'm not saying ego, but there wasn't like you know, the metal guys, you didn't really see them around as much. You know, some of them would be. Some, I'm not saying all of them, but some of them would just be more sequestered to the back room or whatnot, whereas the hardcore dudes were still in the crowd, you know what I mean, and were around.
To their credit, again, we're East Coast guys, right? So the majority of the music that came off the East Coast was punk and hardcore, right? Whereas a lot of the metal shit was in Cali. So maybe, again, if we were in Cali, we would see those guys more often hanging out and you know, doing the thing. But again, I don't know, man. It's just not, and it's not an ego thing. It's just hardcore was just more of a community type of thing.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Where I'm not saying metal, you know, metal had their community too, but it was kind of kept amongst themselves. You know what I mean? Whereas hardcore, the kids were always involved in that community as well. You know what I'm saying? The fans, quote unquote, right? Per se, you know what I mean? So that was maybe the difference, right? Truth, like hardcore guys, that we didn't have fans, we just had kids that went to shows. Yeah. Whereas metal, like you had fans.
Yeah,
right?
It was different, Yeah. Absolutely, man. And it was cool. It was a cool time, man. It was a really weird time, too, because, like, you know, I remember more in the mid-'80s and late '80s, like, those two scenes didn't jive as much as they did. Like, in the '90s, it really started to converge a little bit more. But
absolutely.
In the late '80s, there was a little more tension between the two scenes. And you know, the '90s was a very interesting and fucking cool time as far as, like, punk and hardcore and metal and kind of the interplay between them all goes.
Well, I remember, you know, bands like AF putting out, like, you know, records like One Voice, and then I want to say probably Biohazard had a big role in that too, kind of crossover, you know what I mean? Where like you would
or even the Cause for Alarm and whatnot.
Even back then too, absolutely. And then but like in the 90s, you just, you know, you had man, it was just a mix. Like you would go to like that obituary show, you know, they would obituary and AF, man. That was you didn't have fucking tours like that. That's crazy. A death metal band and a hardcore band tour like that, like you know what I mean? That was a big deal.
And it wasn't just like a one-off show. They would like
that was a whole national U.S. tour, man. So, and they were like, you know, it was the opening bands were Cannibal Corpse and Malevolent Creation. So Gnostic Front was definitely the odd man out on the bill. You know what I mean? So, but that was cool that they had fucking shows like that, right? And that was helped bring, you know, those two crowds together, right? So, and then again, Sepultura, man, they were another band that you would go to their shows when in New York and fuck, half the crowd was fucking hardcore kids.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
I mean? So,
and even like when I went out to Europe with Blood for Blood, this was almost 10 years ago now. We they did a show with Sepultura, like at one of the festivals.
Sure.
And those dudes were like some of the coolest dudes. Like they just hung out, and there was like no like weirdness. Like you know, you could tell like there was like a mutual respect. Like you know, like for like punk and hardcore and metal. Like there, you know, some bands were just metal bands and they weren't really digging hardcore or punk, and then there was some hardcore bands that were just hardcore bands that really weren't digging like the metal stuff. But you could tell the Sepultura dudes like, you know, very much appreciated like crossing between the scenes and whatnot, and we're like really cool fucking guys.
They were the real deal because they were back then one of the only metal bands that actually took a hardcore band out on tour. Yeah. They took bands like Strife out, like full national tours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And when it's weird, like, because you think of Strife and you can kind of understand, like, you know, when Cause for Alarm came out or like some of the other Agnostic Front records, you could understand how AF or like Cro-Mags would go out with some of these metal bands.
Sure.
But a band like Strife sounded like nothing like some of those metal bands, especially back then. You know what I mean?
They did not belong in the bill, but guess what? Sepultura dudes were fans of the band. And they were like, fuck you, we're taking this band on tour. And I'm sure it was a success. I didn't see any shows, but dude, I mean, you know, so they did the right thing. You know what I mean? Like with that, in that sense. Because, you know, a lot of these metal bands, we love this, we love that. Well, you fucking put your money where your mouth is. Take this fucking band out on tour then.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
man.
Like, what the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. And you know, the cool thing is like when you talk about hardcore and stuff, you kind of mentioned community, and that's one of the things like AF always tried to do. Like, you know, like you would always see them bringing bands out or like trying to look out for the scene or look out for bands.
That's how it was, man.
Yeah, and a lot of bands did that, but like AF had in like Cro-Mags, like those guys had kind of had a
clout.
success
They had
that
clout,
that
you know
not
what I
every
mean?
band
Yeah,
had.
sure.
So they'd go out with metal bands, but then when they were touring, they'd also bring bands out under them, and everyone kind of looked out for each other, and that was what was fucking cool. And like even like you said, like Rabies was kind of like took like stewardship of the scene under his like belt,
Sure.
and Warzone was such a force to reckon with back then, and I only got to see them a few times, and it was like some of those are like very special memories to me, you know what I mean, because it was such a good vibe and a good show, and craziness,
Warzone shows were fucking definitely off the hook, right?
Oh, fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah. And I didn't, I think, I mostly saw them in Boston. I saw them twice in Boston, and I saw them once in Connecticut, but I never got to see them in New York. And I wish, like, more than anything, I got to see, like, Warzone in New York. I got to see everyone else in New York, but I never got to see Warzone in New York. And when we'd go to New York back then, we were visitors, like, you know what I mean? Just from Boston.
Sure.
We just kind of laid under the radar. We'd go and just fucking hang out at a show and then fucking take the bus home, But yeah, dude, it was those... late 80s, early 90s, and shit was such good times.
I totally got spoiled in that in the 90s with shows. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, 'cause, there was just shows
All
every
the time.
Friday, every Saturday,
Yeah.
whatever,
Every
wherever
Sunday, whatever, yeah.
matinees. You go to 2 shows in one day,
Yeah,
There was
yeah.
a matinee at CB's or wherever was having a matinee, and then you go to fucking Limelight and see a metal show, right?
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? It was fucking crazy back then. So we were
Absolutely.
really spoiled in that sense, and I definitely was closed-minded in that sense, where I only would really, I only went to shows in New York. Right?
Yeah.
Because why would I go to Massachusetts when I just fucking go, to the city
sure.
to see that show, right? You know what I mean? So
Yeah, absolutely. And it was, easier and closer for you, and everything was right there and accessible. Yeah. But, those were cool times, too, because it wasn't, this isn't like hopping on like some like, oh, back then or whatever shit. Like, it was just cooler because it was different because you had to be there. There was no one like videotaping it live and streaming it live and like, or posting it up like 10 minutes after the whole thing occurred.
There's hardly any pictures even from back then.
Yeah,
yeah. So,
if there's video or pictures, it's like special and something you relish, So you really had to be there. So like, a touring band, like, Boston and Providence are like 45 minutes from each other.
Sure.
They could do a Boston show one day and a Providence show the next
day, absolutely.
or vice versa. But now that no one does, they choose one or the other because you can't get the same crowds or the same draw that, you used to back then for like, more of the underground type shit.
the world's a smaller place too, right?
Yeah.
With internet and just, driving 2 hours to a show isn't unheard of, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, if you're a kid from New York driving 2 fucking hours to a show, why the fuck would you do that?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
You could
Well, 'cause
fucking
you
take
didn't
the
need
subway
to.
for half an hour.
Yeah.
So, but I think, nowadays the world, it's a smaller place. It opened up. People are more willing to travel.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense to do a show that's that close to each other
Anymore, yeah. You do Connecticut or New York and then Boston or Providence.
Or sometimes you don't even, you do just Connecticut and Jersey and skip New York, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or do New York and fucking, that's it, you know what I mean? It's weird, right? So,
Yeah. It's a weird thing. It's hard to get a pulse on like why people choose, obviously availability of venues. And this isn't counting the corona shit and everything that's going on now.
Fucking COVID and virus and lockdown and all this shit.
Yeah,
so.
there was always like weird things with like tour managers and how they set shit up or whatever. But yeah, it was just different times, man. It was cool, and I used to appreciate it, man, because I would go to the Boston and the New York and the Boston and the Providence show, and if I could, I would go to Connecticut to shows or New York or whenever. But we didn't have cars and we didn't have as much money, you know what I mean? So as when we could fucking do it, we would. But it was definitely like you just kind of had to be there to be part of the scene. You wanted a record, you had to either see the band or you had to find a record store that had the shit, and it wasn't as available. You couldn't just like Google search it and download everything, and it wasn't all accessible right at your fingertips.
Different fucking world back then, man. You had to really, like you said, search for it.
Yeah,
you had to really
worked.
love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah. And I feel like things that you, in life, just in general, things that you work for, you appreciate more than shit that you're just given.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know. Just for example, fucking, a band getting known nowadays. Like, fuck, man. You just have to go to hangout shows and hand out demos out of your fucking trunk and your van or whatever, and fucking shove flyers in people's faces to come to your shows. Now it's just like, I'll just post this thing on Facebook.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. That's the crazy thing. And it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. But like, you could go and record a song and literally in 2 minutes later, after you're done recording, you can download it and then put it up for the whole world. Instantly you can have that spread across the world on the internet. It's a fucking such an amazing tool, but at the same time, it also takes a little bit of the work away, which makes you appreciate shit.
We live in an age where there's such thing as a social media influencer, and they get paid thousands of dollars and make a living.
Yeah, well, that's a whole different game, dude.
It's pretty crazy.
And I'm not familiar with that. I know I get like people hit me up like on the Chop Ed page or my own Instagram, personal Instagram, like, hey, do you want like to get more followers? Pay this much and get followers. And I'm like, no, that's so fucking lame because
just like, let it grow organically.
Yeah, let it grow organically and know where you really stand. And plus, like, you're gonna pay to get followers, and they're not real followers. Like, they're not people that are supporting what you do. You're just paying to have like pad numbers. That's fucking lame.
It's like if we want to go back to like music, it's like bands that have they blow up, but they have an established base fan core. You know what I mean? They spent 10 years putting in work and then they blew up.
Yeah.
Guess what? They're gonna keep that fan base.
Sure, yeah.
You know what
absolutely.
I mean? Whereas a band that blows up on the first record and they have all these fans, well, guess what? They'll have those fans on the second record. Yeah. They won't fucking be there anymore.
Yeah,
Because you're gone, right?
They're not fair weather fans.
Yeah, you're not the hit of the day and shit. Anymore. So that's how it just. I've always felt like if you blow up quick, man, you're not gonna last long, right? And I always felt like if you're in a band, you'd rather have a career that lasted. Longevity's better, right? You know what I mean? Maybe you won't fucking be as big and whatever right away, but man, you'll be able to fucking do this shit for 20, 30 years and make a fucking decent living out of it. You know? So.
And and who knows better than you? You've been doing this shit for fucking 20, 30 years, dude. Like, in different capacities, whether it's in bands or like, being on the road with bands, like, and you've been on road, you were like, how long were you with Slayer?
I was with, so I toured for 23 years professionally as a guitar tech, and 16 of those years was with Slayer.
Yeah.
So that's more than half my fucking career. And then that's also not including the years that I played in bands before that and toured and did all that shit, right? So I've been traveling for a fucking long time, right? Since I was a fucking, I think, 18, 19, right? Is when I started playing in bands and like touring and traveling, right? So,
it's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, I was definitely before I was 21 because I remember doing shows with 25 to Life where I wasn't allowed in the venue until I was allowed to go play on stage and leave because I wasn't 21 and we were playing bars or whatever, right?
Sure, That's crazy, yeah. So what got you going from like, you started going to metal shows and then you saw like AF and pictures of that. And, and especially in that time frame, like hardcore dudes looked strikingly different from like kind of metal dudes. That kind of like piqued your attention, and then you saw AF and you started going to those shows. What led you more from going just as a fan, but also what led you more into playing, and how did you get into playing with bands, and like talk a little bit about music stuff, like your history.
When I was into metal, I played in a metal band. Like nothing. We never played any shows. We just would jam in a basement or whatever. And then when I kind of started getting into hardcore, man, the drummer I was playing with, we just, hey, let's, we started liking hardcore more. Yeah. So we were like, let's, start a hardcore band, right? And we found the kids, and we just started fucking playing in a band called Out of Line from Queens. And we played a bunch of shit at Bond Street. That was kind of like our scene there. And that's where I got my start playing in hardcore bands. Right? Okay. So... And then once... and
you were doing bass or guitar?
Yeah, I was playing bass, and we played maybe a handful of shows. And then Frankie, the original bass player for 25 to Life, quit the band. He left the band. Yeah. And Rick knew me from Out of Line, and he gave me a call one day and said, hey, come try out for the fucking band. Sure. And I went and did one rehearsal, learned maybe 2.5 songs. Yeah. Then they told me I had to play a show on Saturday. I was like, well, how many songs we playing during the show? 7 or 8? Well, what the fuck, man? So I kind of just I don't know, went with it, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
And then they liked me. I don't think they thought I was good enough to play in a band, but Beto, the guitar player at the time, really liked me.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
fuck it, man. Let the guy in the band, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. He'll learn the shit sooner or later.
you know what
yeah.
I mean? So that's how I got started doing that, right? That's how that went down. So
Yeah. I mean, and that's a case, I hear that a lot, is that like chemistry is as important or if not more important than someone's, skill or because you can learn the skill, you can learn the songs, but if someone's an asshole or if you're not getting along with them, you don't really want that person in a band with you because they're going to be sitting next to you for fucking hours and hours in a fucking, in a van or some shit,
yeah, here's the thing. With Out of Line, I was a lot more of a technical player, but I didn't have like good timing and good picking and rhythm, right?
Okay.
And then when I joined 25 to Life, I had to really focus and learn how to do that.
Yeah.
Right, because that was more of a lot of up and down picking type shit. You know what I mean? Like metal type almost riffs, right?
Yeah.
And it threw me off because I was used to playing technical shit, and not to diss, it was simple. It was great. It was hard shit, but it was simple to play. But the rhythm of it, I had to like really work on it. You know what I mean? So that made me a better player, but I also had to dumb myself down, if that makes any sense.
No,
you know what
absolutely.
I mean? So,
And that is like a thing with hardcore. A lot of times it's not as technical as some metal can be, but it is more like, I don't know, for lack of a better word, like an emotional or like whatever. It's just kind of like you said, you're like learning a whole different style of playing. Like whereas metal could be
it's
more
not technical,
more meticulous and
it's
technical.
Metal's very technical. Like you kind of have to know your instrument better. You know what I mean? Like whatever. And whereas hardcore, man, if you can play a power chord, just fucking dude with 3 fucking chords, you can make a fucking song.
Oh yeah.
And with hardcore,
And a heavy hitter song too.
It had more of songwriting finesse, right? You know what I mean? Because you could just take a couple of chords and fucking make a banger and fucking have a hit, right? You know what I mean? So or an anthem, as to say, per se.
Yeah. Hardcore is more anthems than hits. You know?
Sure.
Yeah. No,
right?
but that's a perfect word for it, man. Like and absolutely, man. And it just seems like it's more. I don't know. I don't want to say from the heart because I know the technical metal stuff is from the heart too, but like it's just different, man. It's more,
hard. Yeah, it's not
more raw emotion than a polished product.
Yeah, because I think it's, let's say, again, this is very generalized, but I want to say like the average metal guy, or I hate putting people in categories.
No,
but let's say the guy that's like average, he's in his room trying to write that hit song. Whereas the guy that's playing in a hardcore band is just trying to get some shit out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the difference, right?
Or just trying to do the song that will get the most reaction from the crowd.
Yeah.
Not for the masses, but you want to see more pig piles and more fucking people going fucking bananas in the
it's more
pit.
Raw. You know what I mean? And again, it's not taking away from, whatever, other bands, but just hardcore to me, it definitely has its own magic, if you want to call it, like its own, it's just got its own. It's its
own lane.
Right?
It's its own lane.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot to be said about all different types of music. Like I said, like I listen to all kinds of shit, but punk is kind of one thing, hardcore is one thing, metal's one thing, and I like them all for different reasons and at different times, and whatever. And
it's all heavy music.
It's all heavy, extreme music, but it's just different lanes with it.
Yeah.
And whatever. Did you play with anyone else outside of 25 to Life for any kind of like any time,
man,
or extended time?
So after I left 25 to Life, I basically got into being more of a roadie.
Yeah.
Right at that, So I was really good friends with the guys from VOD.
Yep.
So basically, I left the band and I called them up and said, "Hey, I'm around, man. You guys playing some shows? Come hang out at some shows, man. One of my favorite bands or whatever." And they were like, "Shit, why don't you just come out on tour with us?"
Yeah.
And then that kind of turned into, I did one tour and then, okay, well, hey, why don't you start learning how to do this? And
sure.
You know what I mean? And then it worked out timing wise because it was at the same time that they were quote unquote blown up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Coming up, they were actually getting a lot of attention and, all the shit. So I was, bigger tours, right? And going back to Sepultura, one of my first bus tour in the U.S. was VOD. It was Earth Crisis, VOD, and Sepultura.
Yeah, man. What a
You know what I mean?
crazy lineup that is.
Dude, what other fucking band that took two hardcore fucking bands out like that? You know what I mean?
Especially in that like kind of super metal world, like
Dude, this was their first U.S. tour with Derek Green as the singer. Like, dude, they could have bought anyone out. You know what I mean? So, and I want to give props to Deftones, right? Because they bought out like Quicksand back then, Glassjaw. You know what I mean? They actually knew what was up. West Coast band that actually brought some East Coast hardcore bands out on tour, not just one show.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
So,
And that's the thing. There's a big difference between bringing a band as a support act on tour versus like a show here or there or a couple of shows. Like on a tour, like you're traveling the fucking country or the world, or whatever.
for me, coming up as a kid, the perfect example I can use is fucking Slayer. Because when Slayer put out a record and they toured, they had always the next up-and-coming metal band or heavy music band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So whatever band opened up for Slayer, you knew like, yo, that was a good band.
Sure.
So you kind of like knew. And that's what, dude, fucking what other metal band that like, they looked out for metal bands. They kept the metal shit going.
They had their finger on the pulse and they were like, these dudes,
like,
they would tap and be like, these dudes need to come out with us.
Yeah, like they would see, okay, this band might be the next big thing, so we're going to bring them out and fucking, and look at, like, perfect example, System of a fucking Down, dude.
Yeah.
One of the world's biggest fucking bands. Guess who fucking bought them out in their fucking first tours in the U.S. and Europe?
Yeah.
Slayer, dude.
Yeah, and that's a weird thing because that's a weird mix. And
they got shit thrown at them, bro. It was fucking brutal, dude.
yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh, dude, I know for a fact I wouldn't want to really be in any band that wasn't established and be a band that was opening for
up for
fucking Slayer,
yeah,
dude.
especially back then.
Those fans were fucking crazy.
Back then
dude.
they were rabid. Nowadays
absolutely.
it's a little more tame.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's was I think like towards the end, if you went to a Slayer show, you would see fucking generations.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? You'd see the fucking father with his kid.
Yeah, or the grandfather, dude. You know what I mean?
Great.
It's crazy.
It was a little more tame.
Yeah.
But you could see you'd see the 15-year-old kid with the Slipknot shirt on. Never saw Slayer. But then you'd look over and see the fucking 60-year-old dude with his whole fucking family at the Slayer show.
Yeah,
who's
that's
seen
crazy.
Slayer 3 times, 4 or 5, you know what I mean? Whatever. So it was great. You know what I mean? So I think bands like Slayer, they definitely helped that metal community, whereas, hardcore, they stuck together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
bands took each other out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that's how it should be, though. They got to fucking help each other get exposed. You know what I mean?
So how do you get from going out and, and teching? And that's one of the beauties of hardcore and punk and stuff is like, it's such a like contained industry that like so many people that are fans get involved either in, the music aspect, like becoming musicians or like supporting musicians or starting labels or zines. It's that whole DIY thing. And we've talked about that a bunch on the podcast. But so you're playing in 25 to Life, and then you kind of quit the band and you start going on the tour with VOD and like learn the teching aspect of it. How do you go from VOD to getting like Slayer? Because Slayer has to be a really fucking coveted job, like in the teching world, man. I'm sure that's like what a lot of people aspires to get to a band like that.
It's definitely a wanted gig. Right?
Yeah,
everyone wants that fucking gig. So,
absolutely.
So I just from VOD, you start meeting. I did the Anthrax tour, met a couple guys there, and did the Sepultura tour, met a couple guys there too, you just start networking basically, right?
Yeah.
And then at one point I worked for fucking every goddamn band out of New York, Biohazard, H2O, Madball, AF, whatever, right? And then you just get out there and you just work hard and people notice you and you get some phone calls and you kind of push your way in, man.
Sure. One day you just get tapped. They're like, yeah, this dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's for me. It had also a lot to do with timing. I happened to work for Sick of It All, who opened up for Slayer. I did a tour with them in '99, and then I worked for Biohazard, who did another tour with Slayer.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, so they remembered who I was and whatever. And
they start seeing you around.
Sure,
and,
sure. You know what I mean? And I fucking became pretty cool with Tom at that time. You know what I mean? And I started working for Hatebreed, which was a big fucking boost in my career, right? Because it was right when they were fucking
popping.
Jamie just got the MTV Headbangers Ball shit. We were, all of a sudden fucking going from bars. All of a sudden we were opening up for fucking Slayer. It was like, oh, what the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
And then, man, we did that one tour with Slayer, Hatebreed Slayer, and a couple months later, the guitar tech got called to go do Guns N' Roses, and that position opened up.
Yeah.
And a bunch of dudes in the crew lobbied for me, and they came through, put my name in the hat, and I got hired. And that was like 2004.
Yeah.
And I fucking with them 16 years. Fuck. Holy shit.
and then you went though from guitar tech to also to total kind of stage manager.
Yeah.
You were running the whole kind of.
Yeah, so I started out taking care of Jeff and Tom, and then at one point, I just took care of Tom and stage manage.
Yeah.
Right. So that was fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard to do both of those jobs.
Yeah, it was. Well, man, thank God for Norm Costa, the drum tech at the time.
Yeah,
he really knew what the fuck he was doing, and he kind of showed me. He took me under his wing on the first tour, showed me the ropes, and then I kind of ran with it, right? And dude, you just, I was hardworking. I am hardworking. I paid attention. I was driven, and you just, you know what you want to fucking do. Just get it done. Fucking sake, for fuck's sake, man. It ain't fucking rocket science, dude.
Yeah.
And you have a shit ton of fun fucking doing it. So it's not like you got,
What goes into like stage management? Like, because I know, everyone can kind of postulate what a guitar tech does. You handle the guitars and the guitar equipment or the bass, being a bass tech. But what's like a stage man? What are like the kind of overall kind of like responsibilities of like a stage manager?
Man.
I mean, and I know with Slayer, that's like a pretty huge production. So I know it can be different than, some other bands,
So I think the proper definition of a stage manager is his job description would be he would represent the production manager when the production manager is not on the floor. The production manager is basically the main guy that runs the show, the production aspect of the show, right?
Yeah.
And then the stage manager, man, it just depends on what level production manager you're working with, but you could be in charge of, you're definitely in charge of dumping the trucks, right? So however many trucks you have on the tour, you gather the hands, you get all the fucking shit off the trucks, and it's got to come off in an orderly fashion, right?
Yeah.
Rigging's got to come off first, then lights, then audio, then, this case, that case. You got to kind of know you got to know all the cases. You got to be able to look at a case and be like,
know what's in that case.
Oh, absolutely, or at least know where that goes. You know what I mean? Like this goes upstage right, this goes downstage, this goes to lighting, this goes front of house, this goes where, That may seem really confusing because, you're talking about fucking 100 cases. You know what I mean? But honestly, if you fucking just do it for a couple fucking days, it becomes just like second nature because you just know. You look at that case. Oh, I know what that case is. It goes here. And if you know how like the order of how things are done on tour, it's not hard to do once you start doing it. And if you pay attention,
and you see the system that's kind of worked out for it.
And then you make your own system. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One that works for you, right? And you fucking make it happen, man.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you just want to do a fucking good job.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I only
But you say you kind of minimizing it. Like I've seen you at work. Like when Slayer played the Songus Arena, you had us out. We were.
Yeah.
And I always spent as much time watching you and the shit going on because I'm always interested in like the behind the scenes shit.
Sure.
And like they put on a big proper stage show, and I just see you like fucking all the time looking at shit, fucking monitoring shit, and fucking keeping shit going, and people hitting you up, and whatever. Like
I was very. I think a lot of people, man. All right. So one time somebody described me as someone that takes my job very seriously.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's how you get to that
Yeah.
level. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? And
to the Slayer level.
well,
You know.
the thing too is when people think of what I do, they're always like, "Oh, this guy fucking parties all day and kicks it." You know, it's like, yeah, no, I don't fucking do that, dude. You know what I mean? If I partied and kicked it, I wouldn't be working for fucking Slayer, would I? You know?
No, yeah.
So, but I always made sure I was very attentive. I paid attention, and I always wanted to make sure whoever I was taking care of was very happy, right? So I never wanted the guy to look over during the show and see me fucking sitting on a stool, fucking not
twiddling
doing
your
some
thumbs.
shit.
Or,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean? So, but for me, man, it was just a lot of responsibility, but it was easy because you just kind of you had your list of things that you were responsible for, and you just went through the list every day and made sure everything was done.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. Like once you got some of it under your belt, you could learn it and tweak it and make it better for you. Well,
it's like you. Let's say fuck, man, taking apart a fucking bike, you probably fucking easy for you or whatever. An engine block or something. Where it's like, yeah, I could do that in my sleep. Same thing for me. I could fucking direct a fucking show in my sleep because.
That's what you do.
Yeah, exactly. So once you do it enough, it just gets in your system, dude.
Yeah,
it's natural. You know what I mean? So
with all those years under your belt, it's just experience, man.
Yeah, and plus, I was always petrified of fucking not doing a good job. You know what I mean? Being like disappointing the band, in other words, right?
Yeah.
So whatever band I was working for, I wanted to make sure I did a good job for them.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, so you did a lot of years on the road, and I know Slayer kind of did their last tour a little while back. What made you want to kind of get off the road, man? You spent a lot of years doing that,
Man, that towards the end, I just got burnt out, man. I got a daughter now. I just didn't want to be away anymore for so long, and it really affected her towards the end in a negative way. Like she really fucking hated it, and it would be tough to be out there for so long. You know what I mean?
Especially Slayer, they're not doing like a weekend or like a week or two. Those dudes were like out.
They're fucking out. Like they're fucking over 50-year-old men acting like they're 25. You know what I mean? Like, bro, really?
Yeah.
Fucking, still touring 8-10 months out of the year, huh? Fucking A, guys.
Yeah,
Holy shit. Yeah, give it to them. They were road dogs. You know what I mean? So, we fucking went at it hard.
Yeah.
We went at it real fucking hard, man. So.
Well, I think that's the thing. People and I think you kind of alluded to this. People see it as like this glorious thing, like, oh man, you must be out partying. You're just driving around, blah, blah. No, it's fucking work. You're putting in a lot of hours, a lot of days, and you're out away from home. Like you said, 8 to 10 months a fucking year. Now you got a kid, and your kid's starting to get older and realizing you're gone and shit. Like, I'm sure that shit piles up. You know what I mean? Like fucking.
So the thing with touring, it's a lifestyle. And if you don't submit to the lifestyle, you will not survive. You know what I mean? And again, you have to it's basically you have to just dedicate your fucking self to fucking doing a good job and being around, being physically fit, mentally fucking stable to fucking be on fucking tour. You know what I mean? And deal with this fucking shit every fucking day, right? So towards the end, I just got fucking burnt. I got really, really fucking burnt, and man, I'm just fucking glad I don't do it anymore. Really, at this point, man. So
you lasted a lot longer than a lot of other people I know that have like done the road life. You know what I mean? Like you put some time in, man. You put a couple.
I also, it was hard for me to walk away from Slayer as well, right? I never wanted to, I always said, hey man, I'll fucking go out when they go out. So it fucking worked out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but I didn't want to ever walk away from that gig.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? I didn't want to like miss out almost. Like not miss out, but like, dude, like, yo, I'm here. Why the fuck would I not? You know what I mean? Like, Plus, those guys are real, Slayer's real big on being comfortable, being familiar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Routine. They hate breaking the routine.
Yeah.
So for them to come out on a tour and not see me there, it fucking tripped them out, man.
Weird for them too.
Yeah,
like
dude.
you get used to. It's almost like like family or whatever on the road. Like
dude.
like
so over the years I missed maybe like a couple. I missed a couple Slayer tours, and man, when I came back, they were definitely fucking happy I was back. Right, so
yeah. Even if the other dude puts in good work and does a good job, it's still
fuck who you get the best fucking technically,
Yeah.
you know,
it's still
fucking
weird.
guy that could do all this shit. He ain't gonna do what I do. That's
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
You know what I mean? So I learned how to do what I did by doing it there for so fucking long. You can't learn that in a week or
Yeah.
one tour, or even a year.
yeah. And you know, it just takes time to get used to people. Like, and then
Sure.
once you do, it's like that's your dude. Like, you know, and you want to keep working or relying, you know, working on them, working with them or relying with them, and you know.
I mean, Jeff Hanneman could look at me, and he wouldn't say a fucking word. I would know what he wanted.
Yeah,
Same thing with Gary towards the end, right? He could just look over at me. I'd be like, yo, yeah, no, I got
you. Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, that's
I
awesome.
heard that, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Like, you know, what's up? You know, like, what's going on with Pitchfork? I mean, dude, like, Pitchfork is such. When did you kind of? I don't know, like, I know you and your brother been doing Pitchfork for like
Actually,
decades.
that's actually just me. My brother is not involved in that.
Oh, he's not involved.
It's actually okay. So me,
was he at one point?
No.
Okay. So when did you stop Pitchfork?
about 2003.
It's such a mainstay in like the metal and hardcore and like
Culture,
punk worlds, and
We tried. So I started that with LD guy from LD is ex graffiti guy, makes beats, music. He did some music on the Hazen Street stuff. Made some, you know.
Okay.
He came up with Slane.
Yeah,
you know, those guys. Another Boston guy, right? So, but I started stuff with him. He was real into art and graffiti and shit. We always kind of talked about it, you know, joked about it. And one day we said, "Fuck, man, let's do it," and we did it. And we started it. And then about a year down the line, we had our buddy Narc. He jumped in on it, another ex-graffiti guy in New York, you know. And we've been doing that since 2003, man. You know, it's something we felt like we could do to contribute back to that realm, because we weren't really active in like bands and putting out, you know, music anymore in that sense.
Yeah.
So we figured, you know, we could kind of contribute to the culture end of it, right? You know what I mean?
Okay.
And that's where that started, and we've been kind of doing that since, right? It's definitely a labor of love.
Sure.
A lot of people think we're fucking rich from it, but
Yeah.
we're not.
Yeah. There's a lot of things, dude. I know that. Like, people see like the Chophead stuff sometimes and think, "Oh man, you guys are
This
rolling."
fucking guy's rolling in money, bro.
I'm just trying to make rent like anybody else half the time, or make mortgage, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like Pitchfork is like a clothing company, a lifestyle company,
It's a labor of love.
a labor of love. But you know, then also in the last few years, you kind of more developed it into like more of like a
brand.
a brand and a record label as well.
Yes.
In a time where, you know, records aren't, you know, as prominent as it used to be, but have definitely more of a collector appeal than they've probably ever had, man. You know what I mean?
So the idea, the whole thing behind the vinyl releases, it's they're called Back to School series. We feature two bands, one on each side, right? It's a split vinyl 7-inch, and we're kind of, you know, picking bands to showcase that influenced us personally and as a brand.
Sure.
If you notice, all the bands, it's an East Coast, West Coast theme, right? And it's all bands that we are fans of and, you know, again, have influenced the brand coming up.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that, you know, we kind of decide to jump in on, because, you know, it's kind of giving back to the music. You know what I mean? And at the end, that's what we're trying to do, right? So we're just kind of giving our contribution into that world, right? Since we can't put out music and all this other cool stuff that people are into, we're doing that.
Yeah, man. And I think that's fucking rad, man. But also, just an aside, man, there's not a lot of like clothing companies or whatever you want to call it, lifestyle companies or whatever, that have been around as long as you guys, like 17 years, dude. That's a long fucking time. But I can't count, like, I mean, pretty much any band, whether it's in like hardcore or metal or punk, like pretty much every kind of fucking band, dude, that's like a major band has, like, you always see at least one motherfucker at least at one point wearing a fucking Pitchfork shirt,
Yeah.
man. You guys have gotten like some like market saturation there or whatever you call it, you know what I mean?
Again, that's from me fucking just touring, right? And meeting
Yeah.
all these fucking people working for all these bands, and these guys are nice enough. They, hey, I got a clothing line. Oh shit, let me check it out. Here, fucking, hey, I'll wear a shirt,
Yeah.
Like even Tom Araya, holy fuck.
Yeah.
That motherfucker wore that shirt for fucking like 2 years straight, dude.
Yeah,
Pitchfork shirt, you know what I mean? For every fucking ad, every fucking, So we've gotten some fucking people, man, showing us a lot of love. It's really cool. So
Yeah, and so is it just you now, or is it still,
no? It's just the three of us. We
still all three? Yeah.
It's hard, because the other two guys, LD he's a fucking family full-time job.
Yeah, sure.
Narc's got a full-time job.
Yeah.
Now I fucking retired from touring. I got a full-time job and a kid. It's we do all the shit on the side, but we still do it. But if you notice during this fucking pandemic, we've had a shit ton of releases because guess what? We've had time to do this shit.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
So
yeah.
we're when we have time, we focus on it as much as we can. But again, it's we don't fucking get paid from it, and it's hard sometimes to have all the time to do this shit.
No,
so.
I hear you, dude. I mean, there's a thing about like something, it sustains itself, but it's not like it's not a cash cow for
Oh
you,
no,
you know
it
what
sustains itself for sure. But I mean, we definitely don't. We're not like I'm not buying a fucking Mercedes, or anything like that. You know what I mean? So we don't get paid from that shit, man, for sure.
No,
we do it. We do it because we love doing what we fucking do, man. That's it. And hopefully other people can enjoy it.
But I mean, for me, like the clothes is cool. Like I rep fucking, obviously, fucking rep fucking Pitchfork shit. But even the records, man, like like one record might have like Rancid, but then the next one has like a band like not Bricktop, but like Thug Riot. You know what I mean? Like you guys are putting out like known heavy hitters, but also putting out stuff from from
that's
dudes
the
that
point.
are coming up.
It's a series called Back to School. So fucking go listen to the fucking bands that we're putting out because these are the fucking bands that you should be listening to. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
It doesn't matter if they're fucking underground demo band or fucking whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These are the bands you should be paying attention to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you're right. And again, I'd like to, bands like the homies in Count Time LA, and fucking Take Vengeance. You know what I mean? These guys, these guys are West Coast fucking hardcore bands. And a lot of West Coast hardcore bands don't get a lot of love. You know what I mean? Because it's West Coast shit's different. It's not from New York or Boston or DC.
Yeah. Whereas the West Coast metal might get more shine.
Sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so these fucking bands deserve to, get a little fucking spotlight and attention, man. Like, Thug Riot was the last one we put out too. You know what I mean? The homies out there in Arizona. So fuck yeah, man.
Yeah, it's fucking cool, man. And like I tell people, like, and this isn't like me just trying to put like placement in, like, this is shit I believe in. And, like I say about on all the, like when I like do drops for you and for commercials at the beginning, like it's cool because you also do like different like limited colorways. It makes shit interesting, you know what I mean? And it's smart too. Like some dude's gonna be like, I need every fucking iteration of that fucking vinyl. Like I need the black and blue one, or I need the fucking gray splatter one, or the fucking whatever one. And it's fucking.
Here's a cool thing that I've never announced or never talked about yet. But the end of this back to school series that we do, we're gonna probably do like 10 or 12 releases hopefully, and at the end we're gonna put together this really cool. Like, I don't want to give away too much, but just kind of box set type of thing.
Sure, yeah.
So,
look for like some kind of like more something that represents the whole series.
Sure. Yep, exactly. So that's, again, it's, we're taking it each release is done as I can secure bands to give me music, you know what I mean? So it's, but I actually I'm working on the next 2 releases and they're pretty fucking epic.
Fuck yeah, man. I can't wait.
So.
I don't even want to fucking, even off mic, dude. I ain't even asking you about it. I just,
I'll tell you off mic.
No, I don't want to even know, dude. I'm still a fan of this shit. I like getting the surprise and seeing that shit come out. And I was like, oh shit, it's these two? Like, what the fuck,
I appreciate
man?
that love, man. So.
No, fuck yeah, man. And it's like you said, you're a sponsor and whatever, but, and this ain't for nothing, dude. You can check the records. I just ordered more Pitchfork shit for myself last week.
I love it. Thank you.
Like, That's how
fucking
I want to
mad
rep,
love.
dude. You know what I mean? Like, like you're a brother, dude. Like I always want to it's important for people to understand that if there's something that you love and there's people that do shit that you love or support shit that you love, that you support that shit. Like, and not just pay it lip service. You got to stand behind that shit. Like, and you got to show and prove, dude. Like, cause that's how it's always been. You can't just download shit or bootleg shit or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
But I think that's what gives, I think that's why we've been around fucking so long. Pitchfork, that is, you know what I mean? We stuck it out, right? You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm sure there's been times where you guys have been doing better. Sometimes you do worse. There's ebbs and flows to everything, dude.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's like, the fact that you stick it out, even though it's not something that is like padding your pockets, means that, like you said, it's a labor of love. And to me, like, I have ultimate respect for shit like that, because a lot of what I do in life is because of that. Like, I could make smarter choices and spend time doing other shit that would be more lucrative, or like, spend more time doing shit that would be like, funner to do, like family or friend shit. Like, but
listen, if I wanted to get rich touring,
I
wouldn't have fucking stayed with Slayer for 16 years. I would have went and took those pop gigs that I turned down, bro.
Yeah.
This is a lot of shit that people don't know, right? You know what I mean? So
sure, yeah. Even in that world, people think Slayer is probably the ultimate shit, but that's just one level. The pop shit is a whole fucking different level of shit.
dude,
you know what I mean?
I've turned down big fucking shit.
Yeah.
ZZ Top, turned them down.
Yeah. See, that's crazy. See, now
Smashing Pumpkins, turned them down.
Yeah. ZZ Top would have been kind of an interesting.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, I know. That's one. Like, that's a tough one. Like, when you say pop shit, I'm also thinking like other shit. Like, cause I know like other dudes we know, like Johnny Rio and stuff, have gone out on roads and like done like more like pop shit
or some shit.
Yeah,
like,
crazy.
Okay,
shit.
here's a funny story. I got offered the Pink tour, but I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is this Pink character? I don't know who she is. Yo, 3 months later, fucking huge, right?
Huge, yeah.
Oops, maybe I should have took that. But hey, I don't have regrets, So.
No, you know what? I think Slayer's probably kept a more serious touring schedule than Pink anyway.
Absolutely, dude. Here's the thing with the pop world: you jump from one pop band to another.
Yeah,
you're not out with Pink; you'll be out with Justin Bieber.
Yeah,
you're not out with Justin Bieber; you're out with fucking
Lady Gaga.
Yeah, or whoever the fucking next thing is, right? Rihanna, fucking whoever. You know what I mean? So it's the small circuit. You know what I mean? Just kind of like the metal circuit for Tex, for the touring guys. It's a small circuit. So
sure, yeah.
But you're right. Dude, at the man, I was with Slayer for 16 fucking years. I had I was part of that legacy, right?
Yeah, there's a level of dedication
Sure.
and whatever to that, which is fucking honorable, respectable. Like, I say the ZZ Top stuff in jest because I think it'd just be fucking rad to go do fucking work with ZZ Top for a fucking tour. You know what I mean? Is it worth giving up like going on the road with Slayer? Probably not, because that was like what you did.
That would have been like a 2 or 3 year gig.
Oh, the ZZ Top one?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like those guys.
Yeah,
at this
how
point
often
too, you know what I mean? Maybe 20 years ago it would have been fucking dope. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How much are they really touring right now? And it's like, and they're probably not touring as extensively, even when they do go on tour. So it wouldn't have been as long gigs, but it probably just would have been cool. Like, as a fan of ZZ Top, I would have loved to have done something with them for something. But,
yeah, just to be there, man. Fuck, But hey,
but guess what? You get to see Slayer almost every fucking night, right? You know what I mean?
I get to fucking hang out with them and it's be part of that journey. Sure. And that fucking adventure is fucking it was quite a trip, man.
Yeah.
It was quite a fucking trip, dude.
That's a big part of music history, like even in just like general music history. Yeah. Like, Slayer was a force to be reckoned with, man.
I was lucky to be with the band long enough where, I was able to like go to certain places with them for the first time. Colombia. The first time they ever played Colombia, I was with them, First time we ever played Kiev, Ukraine, I was with them.
Yeah.
Fucking, shit like that was like, yo, that's
crazy
cool.
places.
And it's like, fuck, man, India, places they'd fucking never been to, and we were going for the first time together. That was cool, man, to experience that with them. So,
yeah. And I know the road life is fucking crazy and you guys are always busy, but like, when you get to some of those places, do you have days off? Do you get to do cool shit? Or is it just more like, if you have a day off, you're just kind of going through gear and making sure everything's good or whatever?
So there's this thing called the Curse of Slayer.
Oh boy.
And it goes by if something's gonna go wrong, it's if it's gonna fucking happen, right? You know what I mean? So shit happens. We had 2 days off one time and we were at the only 5-star hotel at the time on Copacabana Beach across the street. Literally, you walk out of the hotel, Copacabana Beach, across the street.
Yeah.
Yo, guess what? It fucking pissed rain for 2 days. And the day of the show, bright and sunny.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So one time we got 2 days off in Miami, right? Fuck Miami Beach, fucking hotels right on South Beach. Hurricane Ernesto came. So, we've had moments here and there to like where we've had, a day or two here, but it's always fucking ruined by either jet lag, weather, or it turns into a work day, a pre-production day, and I didn't get to see much.
Yeah. Well, that's what I think that's part of the thing. Everyone thinks like you guys are on the road, you get to see all kinds of rad shit. Like you get to see a lot of fucking hotels and a lot of fucking arenas or fucking or venues. You know what I mean? That's about it, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've done
buses and shit.
Here's the thing, man. You could probably do more on tour than I did if you put a little more energy into it. But for me, man, my days off were, I was happy to be where we were, and I wasn't fucking, I didn't care about like seeing
shit. You were just recuperating if you did have the
shit
time.
Like that. To me, my like maybe a normal person, or not a normal, but just an average guy would, hey, you go to Paris. I want to go see the Eiffel Tower, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I had to go to Paris. Say, man, I'm just gonna go to the fucking local restaurant and eat the local food, right? That's my experience. You know what I mean? I want to mix with the fucking local crowd and talk to the whatever waiter and shit. That's how I took my experience. Where I man, if we had time, sure, I've been to the Eiffel Tower. I did, when we had time to do certain things, we would do it. But it wasn't a big thing on my list, man. To me, I was more about just experiencing the shit on that level, right?
Sure. Okay. The local level almost. Yeah.
I guess maybe that's the hardcore kid in me, huh?
No. And that's cool. That's cool. Now, what's going on in South America, man? That's a market that's opened up in the last whatever years, like, and it seems like it's pretty fucking big now, man. Like, and even on like the hardcore circuit, like in hardcore bands touring down there, like, now that's been like a major market for bands to tour.
For fucking sure. And the one thing with South America is, I will tell you, the fucking people down there are passionate, and they fucking are appreciative, and they love this fucking shit. You know what I mean? So it's really nice to go down there. Technology has caught up down there, culturally, right? You know what I mean? Stuff that was, it's a lot more Americanized down there, per se, westernized, and it's just more updated, and you can actually go there safely and do fucking shows, and it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Right? First time, for example, I was in Colombia with Slayer. Man, we weren't even allowed to leave the fucking hotel because it was too dangerous for us. Now you can go to Colombia and walk the streets like nothing. You know? So
it's like New York City too. Like years ago, like fucking. Well, I don't want to talk about right now in New York City, but pre-COVID New York City in 2019, 2020. It was a lot different than New York City of 1987 or 1990.
Well, hey, check it out. If the current state of New York City is pretty much like the 90s or 80s.
Yeah, man. So if you ever wanted to relive like the fucking past fucking craziness in New York, now's the time. Go walk around Times Square and witness daytime crime and fucking.
You want to get stabbed? Go downtown.
It's true, man. I hear that so much. Like it's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, it's out of control down there. But yeah, not to jump off topic, but fucking yeah.
Someone was telling me today you can buy an apartment now back in Manhattan. You can get apartments like a one bedroom or 1.5 bedroom for about $300,000 again.
Really?
That's fucking crazy.
I wouldn't be surprised. That's fucking actually cheap for Manhattan.
That's what I mean. That's like you can't get that in Boston.
Well,
right
I mean, everyone's fucking shits on the
Everyone
market
left
in Manhattan, and anyone that has a second home outside of Manhattan, they're there instead of Manhattan.
Yeah. it's a crazy time, man. Like I have a buddy that's a contractor, and he's a contractor on the Cape in Massachusetts, and he said his business is up like 30-40%, and the bulk of his business right now is taking people's summer homes and converting them into year-round homes and building like offices and shit inside these houses because people are just fleeing the city, whether it's New York, Boston, whatever. People are getting the fuck out of Dodge, man.
Whether you know it or not, or paying attention enough or not, but there are careers and jobs being fucking decimated.
Yeah.
So after, when things go to quote unquote back to normal, whatever the fuck that is anymore.
Yeah.
There's going to be industries wiped out. There's going to be jobs wiped out. It's going to be a different world, man. So let's just see. Hopefully everyone can come back out on top of it and fucking stick together.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And all I know is that, everything I'm reading, and the numbers and the statistics always vary, but the smallest amount I've seen is 21% of small businesses in America have gone out of business.
Pretty much.
This is only the tip of the iceberg, man. We haven't even really started feeling the economic kind of ramifications yet. That's going to come.
We haven't even started to catch up.
No,
it's like wars.
Nuts.
Remember those wars?
Yeah.
Like they would end and it was like, okay, now we're going to start paying it back. Well, how long is that going to take? 20 years.
Yeah. It's going to be fucking a mess, man. And it's sad, man, because, at the same time, you see these big chain stores and big corporate conglomerates having like record profits. The world coming out of this is going to be a vastly different place than it was like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And it's fucking bananas, dude. And, see what happens with this fucking election and whatnot. We don't need to get into politics or any of that, but it's just a weird thing, like, to think about how different the world is. And like, when you're finding apartments in New York for $300,000 in Manhattan, shit's fucking bananas right now.
We'll find out what world the direction is going in November.
Yeah, exactly, man. November. We'll see what happens. Either COVID goes away or it intensifies and we have a mysterious fucking
vaccine.
We either have a vaccine or we have another round of it,
Yeah.
The scary thing is, just like all political shit aside, is like, and I say this all the time, not all the time, but like I try and put this out there. I am not an anti-vaccine person. Like I think like measles and polio and all these like tried and true vaccines are very important things, and I don't discount them. And that aside, but we got in a slippery slope. I don't know about New York, but in Massachusetts right now, we got fucking forced fucking mandatory vaccinations for kids to go back to school. And that's only the first step. Then it's going to be like, hey man, you might need this fucking vaccination in order to travel or in order to fucking buy groceries at the store, whatever. Like it's a slippery slope of government intervention. And it's like,
absolutely. And what you're talking about is not so much, you're talking about just freedoms being taken away from us. That's it. And
that's all. Like
that should be a choice, dude.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like,
yeah, but I'm pro-choice. That's what it comes down to. Like my life, my body, my life.
If I don't want the fucking vaccine, don't fucking give it to me.
And the scary thing is like, I'm not coming from like, if they came out with a vaccine that was 100% effective and 100% safe,
I'm not taking the first round of it.
No, fuck no. And this is what I'm going to tell people, like, from a perspective. I'm just trying to put people not on the right path. I just want to get people to think more critically about shit that's going on right now. I worked for CDC. I worked for WHO. I worked in hospitals. I worked in the medical industry for 18 or 19 years. It does not take 3 months for a vaccine to be developed and effectively tested. So don't take the fucking first round of whatever it is they're offering, and don't give it to your fucking kids, man. Like, because, they don't even have an effective flu vaccine yet. The flu vaccines that are around now are at best 50 to 60% effective.
There is no vaccine for the fucking flu.
No, it changes every year. There's so many strains.
Was there a cure for SARS?
Yeah.
Was there a cure for Zika?
Was there a cure for H1N1, which was the big thing last year?
What about mad cow?
No. Yeah.
Okay, so there's not going to be a vaccine for this fucking thing either.
So anytime you see something where you see government officials saying, oh, we're not going to allow bars, for example, to open until there's a vaccine, don't say no. Fuck you, dude. Like, you represent us. You don't rule us. Like, there's not going to be a good vaccine anytime soon. It takes years to effectively, test and clinically clinically test a fucking vaccine. It doesn't take months.
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
No.
And it's fucking scary, whether it's the ineptness or there's like fucking some insidiousness behind some of this. I don't know what it is, but there's some scariness going
Just
on.
don't believe the hype, dude.
Yeah,
Look,
don't
listen,
believe-
you know what the right thing to do is right now. If fucking, man, you don't feel comfortable sending your fucking kid back to school, don't fucking do it, man.
Yeah.
Fuck, there's nothing wrong with that. Fuck that.
Just but be able to take the responsibility of teaching your kid from home or
absolutely.
sponsoring
Yeah.
your kid, like being with your kid when they're online learning with the teachers or whatever.
I'm going through some crazy shit in New York with my kid, dude. So it's
What are they doing in New York?
So they're doing this hybrid thing where they're doing 2 days remote and 2 days in the class.
Yeah.
But it's like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, you're not even opening up sporting events or anything else, but you're willing to send kids to school. What the fuck? Like, they're not guinea pigs, are they? Like, that's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, and that's the craziness
it's
of all
fucking
this.
sketchy, man.
Yeah. And that's why I'm saying, like, all of this stuff, like, this has been handled so fucking badly. Like a bar can't open, but if a bar sells a hot dog, they can open. So, or like Walmart can open, but a local store can't stay open. Like,
Since when is a liquor store an essential business?
Yeah, well, they say because if someone has is
An alcoholic.
and they have withdrawals, they can die or whatever. But the thing about it is, they were
Does that
letting
work for heroin too?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. They let these box stores open that thousands of people go through or hundreds of people go through, but they don't let small businesses that maybe 10, 15 people go through a day. What is the bigger vector of transmission? So that's all I'm saying is, like, look at this stuff with a critical eye. I'm not trying to push an agenda. I'm trying to push the anti-agenda and be like, really look at both parties or all these media sources. What the fuck is going on? There's something fucking crazy or really fucking inept going on, and don't stand for it.
Listen,
think for
If
yourself.
you're taking sides on either side, you're fucked. You're fucked, bro. I don't care what side you're on, bro.
Yeah.
Look at the fucking real shit that's going on. That's just pay attention and, hey, whatever you believe in,
It's cool.
just wear a fucking mask when you go out, all right?
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Just don't be part of the fucking solution, not part of the problem. You know what I mean? And fucking, I hear what you're saying, bro. It comes down to just your freedom of choice, and no one should be telling you what to fucking do when it comes to shit like that.
No government should dictate what vaccine you should or shouldn't take. They should be offered, and you should be able to have access to them and take them, especially when they're proven to be effective and proven to be safe.
And if you don't take them, they shouldn't fucking come down on you for it, man.
Because guess what? If you're vaccinated, you shouldn't feel worried about it. If the vaccine is real and works. And I get there's some cases where people have compromised immune systems and they can't get vaccinated. But guess what? If you have a compromised immune system, you need to take better precautions anyway because you have a fucking compromised immune system. And I'm not trying to be cold-hearted. It's just common sense. Because you have a compromised immune system, the whole world has to shut down. I'm not trying to say that in a dicky or a non-feeling way. I'm just saying it from like a common sense standpoint.
Here's the thing, though, man. There's no fucking formula to it.
No.
You can get it and nothing can happen, and I could get it and die. What the fuck?
It's
you know what I mean? Like,
fucking
it doesn't
bizarre
matter
thing.
if you have a compromised immune system or not. Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah. You know what's crazy is a lot of it is, and I'm only saying this as a public health thing, that a lot of people that have had more severe reactions to it that weren't in like the 80-year-old age range, younger people, they're saying that they're showing big correlations with a severe vitamin D deficiency. So if you're listening to this and you're worried, go get some vitamin D. Go out in the sun or buy some vitamin D, man, and take a couple vitamin D pills a week and help yourself.
Get 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah, do common
Drink your
shit.
fucking water.
Yeah.
Drink your fucking, whatever you're supposed to, 8 gallons, whatever the fuck it is, of water. And, dude, get some fucking sunlight, dude.
Yeah, get some sunlight or take a vitamin D pill.
Or take a vitamin D pill.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And guess what? It doesn't cost a lot.
Look, here's the one thing, Truth, that no one talks about. Man, work on your immune system.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Get yourself healthy where you fucking dude, your top health, man. Fuck.
Yeah, and one thing that's scary is that these people that are over sanitizing, like that are sanitizing their hands like every 32 seconds, like your immune system needs to fight shit off to stay in shape, to be able to fight shit off. Like, and the best thing I ever heard of, like, for analogy of that is like your immune system's like a fighter. And if you had a fighter that's going into a heavyweight fight that didn't train for that fight, they're going to get fucking demolished. So you need to like be able to have your immune system operating and fighting to be able to work at its optimal capacity.
I didn't need COVID to wash my hands and be like, you know what I mean? Like, dude, just fucking, you know what, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Come
don't
on,
be
bro.
a dirt ass, dude. You take a dump, fucking wash your fucking hands.
You know, take the fucking leak, wash your fucking hands, bro. What the fuck? Holy shit, dude.
Yeah. It's like almost like reteaching people common sense, like fucking.
But I think that's what happened because I think with, man, with just a lot of this fucking social media shit, people are just fucking dumbed down, you know what I mean? And this is a little bit of a, I think like, hey man, wake up call, like, hey, don't need all this shit, or, fucking pay attention. Pay attention. Get off your fucking phone.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're on your phone, like read some shit that's beneficial to you. Don't just read all the fucking, the news shit that's just scare tactics that are just keeping you in a state of fear and a state of fucking confusion. Like, look at the shit that can help you.
Or just play video games, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, yeah, dude, look, be productive, please.
Yeah. Get some exercise, get some sun, fucking take your vitamins, fucking
hug your neighbor, fucking
eat
Jesus
right.
Christ, eat right, fucking don't eat junk, don't eat, what, at this point in time, there's enough information out there where fucking what not to eat and what's good for you, fucking what you shouldn't be doing, so you know what to do, fucking, even if it's, man, fucking, so.
You don't have to be perfect. Just take some steps to improve yourself.
So check this out. Ozzy Osbourne, right? He used to fucking get off his bus and jog around his tour bus, and that was his exercise.
Yeah.
Perfect example, bro. Yeah. Fucking just do your fucking part, man.
Yeah. And don't be the victim in every situation, you know, like accept some personal responsibility for shit, man.
Absolutely.
Dude, tell me a little bit. You recently launched your own podcast, and it's called the Dabghanistan Podcast. Let people know a little bit about that and where that name comes from, because it's a fucking interesting name, dude.
That's so I do the show with a guy named David Bonvillain, who I met. He was actually my weed tech on Slayer.
Weed tech?
Yeah, he was my weed tech.
That's a fucking good job.
So he's if you guys tune in, the show is the Dabghanistan Podcast, spelled like it's pronounced,
and that's wherever you get all the podcasts.
Yep, YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes. Yeah. But go check it out, and I do the show with him. He's the co-host, and he was the weed tech. That's the story behind itself. That will be told on the podcast.
Okay.
But he's the weed tech, and then he somehow became the fucking guitar tech, and we became really good friends. We're complete fucking opposite people. Like, I'm like a street dude, and he's like a fucking educated, like well-rounded indivial.
Yeah.
And but
how does an educated, well-rounded individual become a guitar tech for Slayer?
So he's a cannabis guy. He's in the cannabis industry, cannabis culture, and he was the weed tech, right? He came out he was the weed tech, and he's a fucking very smart individual, and he's actually a guitar nerd.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So he kind of knew certain technical aspects of it, and the guitar tech we had out at the time shit the bed, man, and he kind of was like, fuck, man. It was just kind of a go-to guy. He had earned the trust of the band, and they gave him a fucking chance, and he ended up fucking doing good. And he ended up actually doing really fucking good, right?
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah, he was actually an exceptionally decent fucking guitar tech too. He was a better weed tech though.
Yeah. So what made you guys start a podcast, and what is it that you guys are kind of? So what's like kind of the story of the podcast?
So the podcast. Me and him being completely different opposite ends of the spectrum, somebody suggested that it was a good idea if we did a podcast because, we're just like the Odd Couple, right? So good energy and And some of the phone calls that me and him, our personal phone calls, man, we'd be fucking rolling on the floor. You know what I mean? Just laughing, making fun of each other, whatever. And somebody had suggested the idea. Dave talked me into it, and we started the podcast. And I don't know, fucking 2-3 months ago.
Yeah.
And we basically just focused on weed and music.
Yeah.
And we talk about all kinds of shit. We try to keep away from politics and stuff.
Sure.
On that show specifically, but we definitely like talking about weed. And we have, we've had fucking Chuck Billy from Testament on, Jack Gibson from Exodus, a bunch of people, so it's been fun, and we keep it fun. It's interesting, it's a different perspective. So Ryan Packer just walked in the room.
Big Truth Podcast listeners.
What did I tell you? Ryan Packer just walked in the room.
Oh, also Adam
Oh shit!
Yeah,
we got a whole squad.
We got a whole
Look
squad
at that.
coming in.
Fucking Brandon Sheer Terror, Adam
Yeah.
fucking representing the city of Rochester.
Yeah, man. Well, we did pay respect to our brother Doyle today. That
Yes,
passed
rest
away,
in peace.
unfortunately, and whatnot. So, not to harp on that because that's our shit, not shit that we need to talk about. But so you guys have had you've had some heavy hitters on there. I listened to the Hoya one. That shit was making me
That
laugh.
was a good one, dude. He's, but see, you get people on like Hoya, and he's a fucking great guest, and
and Hoya loves music and weed, so
yeah.
he was like the perfect guest. He's like a penultimate dude.
We just actually recorded. I don't know how soon this episode will hit the air, but
Yeah, Wednesday, bro.
Okay, so in about 2 weeks or so, we're gonna have an episode out with Stephen Carpenter from the Deftones.
Okay, cool.
He's another big fan of weed and big fan of music, so
Okay.
that was a fun show too, right? So
Yeah,
that'll be out.
There's probably not a hard type of dude to find in the metal industry or the music industry as a guy that's into weed and music, right?
Yeah, but you know what? Some people don't want to admit to it on camera.
Oh, they don't want to talk about
They don't
it.
want to do it as publicly, right? So,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because you guys do a video component to it.
Oh yeah,
right?
we're on there smoking weed, doing dabs, all kinds of shit, right? So whatever, bro. I have a different perspective. I don't think it's fucking weird to smoke weed. I think it's fucking normal. I don't think it's a bad thing. We've been made to believe over the years that it's this fucking devil.
Yeah.
And this bad thing. And I never believed that. So I have a different perspective on an approach on weed. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'm not a huge weed guy, you know what I mean? I've had it, and and I'm around people that smoke it all the time, like Dan, whatever. And I'm not against it. And, I don't not partake, but it's not a big part of my life. But I mean, the crazy thing is when you really look at the history of weed and why it was criminalized and demonized, it's all tied into big industry
Racism.
and people and racism, but more like the industry of the dude, the news guy. His name just slipped my mind, and Citizen Kane was loosely based on the guy, but he was a big newspaper guy, and he was so against the hemp crop because he didn't want the wood crop to go away to make the paper that he just started running smear campaigns because he owned most of the news industry.
And he lobbied the government and paid the politicians. And then next thing you know, they fucking made it illegal. And the term marijuana is Mexican.
Yeah.
That's from Mexico. They started blaming, minorities for smoking it, and fucking jazz musicians or smoking and come rape your fucking daughters and crazy shit. And they put out movies like
Reefer Madness.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, holy fucking shit. If you guys just stop and look and just look through the fucking bullshit, it's like, dude, it was a political assassination of something that probably could have fucking helped save the world.
I mean, prior to all of that craziness, like hemp was like a big product, like a big consumer product. And Ryan Packer's here as oftentimes when we do
I don't drink, but I guess I'll
hotel
drink this.
rooms.
Whatever I was just handed, I guess I'll drink it. Fuck it.
What is this, Jameson?
Oh, it's water?
Well, you have water because you don't drink.
Yeah. But I mean, I'll do, is this for Doyle? I'll do a shot.
A shot for Doyle. Oh wait! Oh, look at that! Adam stepping right in. What is this, Jameson?
Just give me half the fucking cup, Adam. Jesus, fuck.
We've been drinking Jameson all fucking day.
Right. But I gave you a shot of water.
I know. Yeah, thank
I love
you.
the respect.
No, thank you. I'll do a shot though.
I'm still trying to remember the fucking dude's name. I can't believe it just slipped my head. But yeah, I mean, it's fucked up because when you realize what like a fucking wonder product like hemp really is, you know what I mean? Like whether you smoke weed or not, hemp is a whole different product that
Oh, we
has
can make
no
oil,
crazy-
clothing, all kinds of shit with that,
fucking
man. What are you,
paper,
fucking nuts?
yeah, rope. All right, hold on. We're
I
gonna
like to do a shot here. Hold on.
We're doing a live shot to our brother
For
Doyle.
Doyle.
For Doyle. All right,
Respect.
Slante. Not Irish. Slante. Skull, whatever.
What the fuck was that? Holy shit.
Jameson.
Oh, Jameson.
Jameson is basically water in Boston.
Ooh.
But yeah, man.
Speaking of Jameson, I went to the Jameson factory in Ireland. It was fucking awesome.
Fuck yeah, man.
It was badass.
Just to see how they fucking distill it all and fucking process it.
Yeah, this was after towards the end when I didn't tour anymore. So when I actually had time to do shit. Not to get off topic. Sorry.
Oh yeah. No. So you there? You weren't there when you were on tour. You just
I went. I missed. It was on a tour. I missed, and I went out to walk the new guy through the gear, and the show was in Ireland. So the tour moved on. I stayed in Ireland for like 3 or 4 days.
Oh fuck yeah, hung out and get to chill out and whatever.
Yeah, did some cool shit. So it was fun. A lot of fun.
So yeah, man, what do you guys got coming up on Dabghanistan?
So
it's kind of cool, like because you guys have a perspective, like you guys work together on the stage. We're each of you on different sides of the stage.
Yep, I took care of Gary. You took care of Carrie, and we just have a different. You know, it's a funny show. We fucking poke fun at a lot of shit.
It's almost like an odd couple.
Yeah, totally odd couple, and we have a lot of fun. Just if you like fucking music and weed, or even if you don't like fucking weed and you just like music, or want to hear two fucking guys talk about
or
shit.
if you like weed and don't like music,
yeah, or
if
whatever,
you like one or the other,
you're fucking good to go, man. Tune in, and it's a fucking funny show. We have a good time, man. We again, like you said, it's a different perspective, right? We're not, we're kind of coming from the sidelines, if you would say, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
from the sides of the stage.
Yeah. You know what I mean? That's the point of So
who do you got coming up?
We just did Stefan.
Yeah, you said
from Deftones. His episode's gonna be hitting soon. I think we're gonna be talking to Chris Beatty from Hatebreed. That should be fucking hitting soon. And I don't know. We'll be lining up all kinds of guests. So
yeah. I thought, where's Jimmy G? Did he crash out?
Oh, where's Jimmy G, man?
So Jimmy's. Everyone's trying to be polite. Everyone's trying to be polite. No. Everyone's trying to be polite and be in the other room. I'm a drunk asshole, and my brothers are trying to be polite also.
Does Brendan have something to say?
Brandon, come over here. Brandon, come here.
Brendan, Sheer Terror has something
Sheer
coming
Terror
up.
Of the Rochester fame.
Come closer. Just come closer. Yeah.
So yo, September 5th.
I only got two mics. You gotta come closer. Yeah.
If this is September 5th, go ahead, talk.
Live stream concert from
Get right on.
Bowery Electric in New York City.
Where do you get tickets?
Go on the Bowery Electric page, and that'll give you all the links you need to get the tickets.
What's about
Or Sheer Terror Facebook page?
Official Sheer Terror on Facebook. Official Sheer Terror Instagram.
But is there going to be an audience there too, or is it just live?
No audience. Just
all right.
live
So there's no tickets.
There's
tickets to watch it stream online.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna buy tickets to watch.
Yeah.
So
That's the new thing now, bro.
This is the world we live in. I learn shit as in real time, just as anyone else. So if you want to buy a ticket to watch Sheer Terror play a live show streaming live from the Bowery Electric, you can check it out at what is it, BoweryElectric.com?
Yeah, I think you can. You can search the Bowery Electric at Bowery Electric on Instagram. That's
or
probably
just
the easiest place to go.
I mean,
You'll
or
see
just
the ticket link.
follow.
Yeah.
Give out the Sheer Terror sites and
Official
stuff.
Sheer Terror on Instagram. Official Sheer Terror on Facebook.
Yeah, Official Sheer Terror. Check it out. You can just start there, and you'll find links to.
You'll get where you need to go.
You'll find a course of action for you to take to
Murphy's
watch
Law
that
did
live.
one already there, so it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, man. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, because we can't go anywhere with the COVID stuff, like you can still see live music, and people are finding creative and innovative ways to be able to
This
showcase
is what
live
we
music.
do now, bro.
This is 2020, motherfuckers.
This
Like,
is normal.
It's not ideal, but it's the best we got right now.
yeah, but guess what, man? If you ever wanted to see
Adam,
shit terror,
What do you got? You got something to promote? Come here. You got something to promote? No, he's just a background guy. He don't like talking.
he's just being creepy,
Especially about your girlfriend?
standing crotch height behind your head.
He's a man of mystery.
While we have a moment, Manscaped, Manscaped promotes this podcast, and I bought. I'm a barber / musician. Manscaped promotes this podcast. I bought my razor through. Hashtag was it Big Truth
At the beginning of the episode, we do all the commercials. So yeah,
Well, I'm gonna do one more
yeah.
commercial.
Manscaped.com. Use the code Big Truth at checkout. You get 20% off your order.
I shaved my junk with Manscaped. Guess what? Shit's good.
Did you get a cut?
Dude,
No cuts.
I'm a barber, right? I can buy a million razors. I bought a Manscaped razor with the Big Truth hashtag. And then you got helped out.
A promo code.
Promo
yeah.
code. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
Get that discount,
off clean.
motherfucker.
Hashtag fucking. Yeah.
Guess what?
Oh, hold on,
Hey, wait,
hold on.
no.
Time out. Wait.
Wait.
This is what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna take a fucking poll. Everyone that shaves their fucking balls, raise their hand.
Yeah.
I am gonna admit.
See, we got one fucking hairy gorilla in the
fucking
back there.
Adam, yeah.
Weirdo Adam over there.
Adam's trying out for a 70s porn.
Shave your balls.
Maybe
I
his
didn't-
girl likes the hair.
I didn't really do it before they sent me a razor. I'm gonna admit, like I did a couple times, but I fucking nicked myself with my beard trimmer, and I was like, "Fuck this shit, dude! I ain't fucking."
Well,
dude,
where'd you
literally-
nick yourself?
In the fucking ball sack,
Oh,
dude.
that
It's
sucks.
no good, dude. It's like the fucking worst thing ever. So I was like, I ain't fucking doing that shit.
Get the Manscaped.
The Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0. I'm like, this is not a planned fucking announcement. Like but I only do
bought one,
commercials
man, to support you.
for shit that I agree with. Like whatever it is with their fucking razor blade, like you can fucking manhandle that shit and it doesn't fucking cut you. It fucking works.
Dude, it works. It works.
So manscaped.com, and when you check out, use promo code Big Truth, Big Truth, and you get 20% off your order, and you won't get fucking bloody nuts, right? That's like I can't give a better fucking endorsement than that, right? And then Ryan Packer from Slapshot and American War Machine, who's also a licensed and trained barber, stands behind that product. I only give
Go
shout outs.
fucking buy it.
I only work
Real
with.
talk. I could buy any goddamn razor that's out there. I know them all. I know
All
them
right,
all.
yeah, and you know, so
You grip up on it, you'll be all right.
You be all right. You know what I mean? You clean. You get no more fucking nap in there, and you know what I mean. So I only promote a couple things. I promote Manscaped, and I promote Pitchfork. So if you need clean balls or a good set of fucking streetwear, or you need a good set of 7 inches that have East Coast and West Coast bands, you check them out. And also Omerta Mia, which are also our brothers.
Yes, absolutely.
And Omerta and Chop Cult. And that's all I promote on this fucking thing. Yo, and I gotta. No. This is breaking news. I forgot about this. I bought 2 domain names today. Two domain names today, and the first one we're gonna. This is a big announcement. I bought stripmallkarate.com, and so just because I thought that would look.
What are we doing?
I don't know. I like this is yet to be seen. But if we get an idea, I just thought it would look fucking funny on a shirt if it just said Strip Mall Karate. Like, because everyone kind of gets an idea of what strip mall karate is. It's like karate in a strip mall. You know, it's kind of fucking a bunk fucking shitty ass fucking karate instructor teaching some bullshit system, but it's fucking hysterical.
Some white belt teaching the fucking dojo.
Yeah, exactly. So stripmallkarate.com is something I now own. And if you have a good idea for stripmallkarate.com, I am open to hear it. And actually, we're going to make this a contest. So whoever has the best idea of what we should do with stripmallkarate.com, will receive a prize pack from the Big Truth Podcast, which will include items from Manscaped, from Pitchfork. Purchase Street Records is giving stuff. Pirates Press Records has donated stuff. Sheer Terror just said they're going to give us a bunch of shit to donate to it.
What are you talking about? He never said that.
Limited edition Slapshot 7 inches that you never even heard of. But there'll be a cool thing, Chopperhead shit. I'll send a cool prize package your way. So just hit me up at bigtruthpodcast@gmail.com or truth@chophead.com, and the best ideas will receive some kind of prize package, and I will announce it on air. So make sure you give your Instagram name or whatever name, and a way for me to contact you. But that will be a new contest. Also, this is a big, I don't want to give up. I don't want to give the other one out yet. No, we can't give that because that's proprietary information that we need some research and development. And until we have a patent on it, I can't give that one out. Stripmallkarate.com is all you need to know. And so that's
send in your ideas.
Send in your ideas.
We want to hear all of them.
And so the takeaways from this is you definitely need to check out pitchforkny.com. I'm stoked to be able to sit down with Warren. This isn't like a fucking hype for your podcast, for your streetwear company. We've been friends a long time, and we've been talking about doing this. We just happen to be in the same place at the same time.
Well, we tried to do it last time, but you know what I mean? It didn't work out. So
shit happens, man. Me and Packer got too hammered, like fucking.
I left early, right? You know what I mean? So fucking,
but it's cool. Out. It's cool that we didn't have to do this.
Well, we talked about doing this on the phone forever, and we said, "Nah, you know what? Let's just fucking wait. We do it.
You were going to drive all the way out.
Yeah, I was going to come out exactly.
So that's that. So you're fucking here. I was glad to have you here today.
Thanks for having me, bro.
So make sure you check out pitchforkny.com. How can people find out more about Dabghanistan?
Just fucking search it on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify. Subscribe, comment, sign up for all the notifications.
Yeah, one of the most important things you
can get to number one.
And this is for like my podcast, for Dabghanistan or anything, any podcast you really like, make sure you hit subscribe. And also, very importantly, make sure you leave feedback on whatever format. Like if you watch it on YouTube, leave feedback on YouTube. If you watch it on iTunes,
talk shit, call me ugly. I don't give a fuck. Just interact with me.
But it really helps too. It also helps in the rankings. It also helps.
And plus, I want to fucking hear from you, man. What the fuck? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Holy shit! Yeah. Just give me an idea.
Absolutely. So listen to Dabghanistan podcast and give some feedback. And I'm sure there's ways for them to get in touch with you.
Oh, absolutely. Find me on Instagram. Find me wherever. Right.
Pitchfork NY. Right.
Pitchfork NY, and I have a personal Instagram. Fucking what is it, Brandon? What's my Instagram? _M_me_NYC.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep. I'll put that in the show notes.
And then go follow Adam English on Instagram.
Adam English. What I will say about Adam English's Instagram is that he's got a very good taste in music, and and now he's taking a phone call and acting shy.
I'm making you Insta famous right now, bro. What the fuck, dude?
And vodka back.
And make sure you listen to and follow Sheer Terror and watch that show on.
Yeah, go stream. Fucking get the tickets. Watch the stream show. It's gonna be fucking great. And I think I might be there. Am I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I might be there. So.
And anything else coming up?
Fucking get shit. If you're in the fucking Massachusetts, Rhode Island area, go fucking check out Chopperhead.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna complain about that.
And if you're in the fucking Boston area, get a fucking haircut from
Packer.
Where are you located, Packer?
No. Bostonian Barbershop.
There you go.
Yeah, Bostonian Barbershop.
You fucking Boston heads need
fucking
haircuts.
masshole jerk offs. All right, we're gonna end it here. We want to thank you for listening. Have a good night.
Fuck you.